In 2 minutes, we'll be going back to Crystal Palace for highlights of tonight's athletics. That's after the news headlines, now on BBC1 with Sue Lawley.
There's been more protest action against the shooting down of the Korean airliner tonight. The majority of NATO countries have agreed to stop flights to and from the Soviet Union for 2 weeks from next Thursday. Turkey, Greece and Spain were against the ban, and France also feels unable to take part. Earlier today, the Russians took the unusual step of holding a press conference. The Soviet Chief of Staff, Nikolai Ugarkov, maintained a defiant line. He described how the airliner had been shot down by 2 missiles. There was no mistake, he said. It was a spy plane. The Soviet Union would not be paying compensation. Ugarkov went on to claim that the Korean jet met an American spy plane and the two flew side by side for 10 minutes. But the United States is asking, where's the evidence? They say the Soviet Union still owes the world answers. In Washington, President Reagan has attended a memorial service for the 269 dead, and he's declared Sunday a national day of mourning. The Irish government tonight ordered the expulsion of 2 Soviet diplomats and the wife of one of them for what it called unacceptable activities. They're the first secretary of the Russian embassy in Dublin and the second secretary and his wife. 2 of the Zimbabwean Air Force officers cleared last week of sabotage charges and then rearrested are finally on their way to freedom. Air Commodore Philip Pyle and Air Vice Marshal Hugh Slatter left for London on a plane tonight, deported as undesirables. 4 other officers tried with them are still detained in Zimbabwe. The RAF is sending 6 Buccaneer strike aircraft to Cyprus as protection for the 100 or so British soldiers in Beirut. The planes will be stationed about 30 minutes flying time from Lebanon. During the day, there have been fresh attacks on the other peacekeeping forces in Beirut. French and American positions were both hit by shell fire. Finally, sport, and Britain's top woman tennis player Jo Dury fought a tough match against Chris Lloyd in the US Open tonight. Mrs. Lloyd eventually won 6-4, 6-4, and that match is on BBC2 at the moment. And Steve Cram, Britain's world champion middle distance runner, beat Steve Ovett in the Coca-Cola Mile at Crystal Palace this evening. That's all from the newsroom for now. Good night.